Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Are you able to hear me? Great, great, wonderful. We are about to start. We have 2 minutes. So please feel free to introduce yourself and let me enable the chat. Okay. Hi Shmiti. Great, great. Wonderful to have everyone here. Yeah, you have raised your hand. This video is live on the YouTube because it's a kind of, we're doing it again, the same content that we did last week, since many people missed it. So we are trying to do it again. Great. All right. All right. Great. Feel free to introduce yourself. I may not be able to read it now, but I would love to read it later. And it'll be great to know everyone in this session. Okay. So wonderful. Wonderful to see such a great audience. So there are some audience on the YouTube live channel and some in here. All right, so great, great. Let me just do a bit of admin work. And okay. And all right, all right. Okay. All right. Yeah, you have raised hand, Smriti and Brahma. Is there a question for me? All right. Before the webinar starts, let's just go through a couple of questions. A question is, I am a 2015 pass out, computer science branch with no work ex. Up till now, how can I start a career in data science, AI? How can I find a job? Good question. Good question. So, see, basically, whenever these new technologies or new job descriptions are coming in, those are the great time to, start a career in those tracks. If you try to compete in other established technologies or jobs, there'll be a lot of competition for you. So a better idea is to start your career in a new area. Okay. And the good part is that in the new area like machine learning, ML ops, data engineer, data science, those are the areas where you can get started. And it is completely okay if you're getting started. Be open to internships, be open to taking up, say, data analyst role or any other role. And that essentially opens your career for if you are starting up afresh. Okay. So learning new technology is inevitable because that's how you'll be able to differentiate and you will be able to showcase that you have something that's needed today. Okay. I hope I answered your question. Any other questions before? Awesome. Awesome. So, all right. All right. Great, great. I'm seeing a wonderful audience for this webinar. And we have Mark. who is basically PhD research in signal processing at CloudxLab. Wonderful to know you. And there is Rohit, who is currently in for final year. And a question from Smriti is, my question is, when I give input function, it gives me an error, right? So basically in input function, you need to provide the prompt in Python. And then the input function would return you the string, whatever the user has typed. All right. How to do a good computer vision as how to do good as a computer vision engineer. I know that it's tough and tough to get computer vision engineer role as a fresher. Correct, correct. But there are many roles as of today, which are even for fresher. Okay, even for freshers in computer vision, and be open to all kinds of whether it's a internship, whether it's a beginner role, and so on. You should try it out. Okay. All right. So, man, there are always these, spammers in the chat. I need to delete them. I don't know who joins them, who adds them. And yeah, we need to. Okay. So wonderful, wonderful. Let me add a couple of my teammates so that they can take care of mechanics. And all right. All right. There's a question. This I would like to answer. That what is the difference between data science and data analytics? Right. So data science is a very broader bucket. Okay. It includes data engineering, it includes machine learning, it includes deep learning. Data science is like a very, very big bucket. Data analytics is essentially focused on giving the analytics from the data, right? So you should know, as part of data analytics, you should know basics of statistics, you should know basics of SQL, and you should know basics of probably Python pandas. Okay, you should know like visualization, how do you visualize the data set and so on. Okay, so that visualization is usually done using Matplotlib along with the pandas. Okay, so I hope I answered your question. While data science is like a very big bucket, it contains all kind of things. Wonderful, wonderful. Let me just take a look at a couple of questions in the YouTube channel. One question is, does age hamper anyone to get into data science industry? I don't think so. I don't think so. The data science industry is, if you are a bit senior, it becomes all the more reason to be data literate, or you should be knowing what's data science. Okay. Because what happens is that as you grow in your career, when you become senior, a lot of data related decisions are expected from you. So if you are not comfortable with handling data, the chances are that the expectation from you will not be met. And even in the interviews, if you're a senior, whether by age or by experience, people expect you to know fair bit of data science. So it becomes inevitable as you grow in your career, it becomes inevitable to know the data science part. Okay. Data science includes everything. It's just too general a bucket. That's why we have kept it. And I'll explain to you the various parts of data science as we go ahead. Okay. All right. The question is, how can I use data science for data analysis? What skills are required for non-IT? And yeah, so I would say, yeah, One very important thing I want to tell everyone is that if you are planning to get into data analytics industry, data analytics is a part of data science. Okay. If you're starting out, the data analytics has a little lower barrier as compared to the data science, right? So if you are starting out, probably you can start with data analyst positions. But for data analyst positions, one very important key things I would like to explain to you. The key thing is you should be comfortable with the programming languages, not programming, the query languages like SQL, structured query language. SQL is general. It's not specific to a database. It is general. So SQL is not only used as a DBA or other things. SQL is used for many things. SQL is used for querying big data system. SQL is used to query the normal relational databases. SQL is also used in large systems on the cloud like BigQuery. SQL is also used in various kinds of, like tools like uh, the Presto and so on, like Hive and so on. So knowing SQL is the key idea. Another use case of SQL is, let's say you are doing business intelligence reporting, right? What is business intelligence reporting? You basically have a visual tool such as BERT, B-I-R-T, or you have like a Tableau, or you have like, they used to be Crystal Report. There are hundreds of reporting tools as of now. Even there's Looker and so on. So when you have a good idea about SQL, what happens is you can handle almost any of these tools. Don't become specific to the tool, right? Aim for a bit generalized skill, right? Let's say today you become like an expert at the BERT, but tomorrow the BERT goes out of business. It becomes difficult for you to find another job, right? So what you do is you figure out what is the common denominator that is needed. The common denominator that is needed is one is SQL, you should know. Second, basics of statistics and basics of machine learning would help your career as a data analyst. Next, you should know visualization. There are many tools for visualization, such as, there's pandas in Python, and there is matplotlib in Python, and so on. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. There are quite a few questions. Let me just take. I think these are very important questions that people have, and I would love to answer those questions right away. Okay. So, and great, great. All right, so I've answered that question. What is the difference between data science and data analytics? How to integrate ML models into existing software, and also with the database. Correct, correct. So I think when you learn the tool like Python, pandas, so what you can do is, what is an ML model? That is the first thing that you need to know. But it's a very interesting question for everyone who is live on Zoom as well as on YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitter. This is a very important question. The question is how to integrate ML models in the existing software, and also how do you integrate ML models with the database, right? Now, ML models are nothing but bunch of numbers, right? So using a library such as TensorFlow, using a library such as, say, PyTorch, you can load the models like deep learning models, correct? The big models that you can load using that. Similarly, using Python or using Go or using any programming language, you can load these models in your code. But sometimes what happens is these models are large and you can't keep them loaded. You basically can't afford to load them every time you're calling them, right? So what you do is you convert these models into a microservice. Microservice is nothing but a server, which basically, when you call this, it will give you the results. You give it input, it'll give you the prediction, right? So the way you use ML models in your existing software, either by using, say, Python code or a Go code to load the model and run the inference, right? And or you just host that model as a service. Like if it's a TensorFlow model, you can just use TFSer and launch it like a website, or you can say web server. And then from your code, you can make a call to this one and then get the results and then show it in your app. So there are multiple ways, and this is tackled usually, and yeah, okay. Okay, so this is usually tackled. So yeah, we were there. So how to integrate ML models in the existing software and also with the database? So usually hosting or streaming the ML models happens through a system like TFServe. So you can just host those models and you can get those going. I hope that answers your question. Now, feel free to clap or give me some emote icons so that it is more lively for me. Okay. All right. Wonderful. I hope that data science and data analytics is also clear. What is the scope for a civil engineer? That's a good question. And I think I should answer this question for everyone. What is the scope for a civil engineer in data science industry? Very few companies come for this profile in MNIT Jaipur, even lesser for our branch. Is it possible to fetch an off-campus placement? Correct, correct. So I'll tell you. So I graduated from IIT Roorkee in 2002, right? And when I graduated, I graduated from chemical engineering. And there were many others who graduated from non-computer science branches. Now, it becomes imperative or it becomes inevitable for everyone to learn IT and data science. All the people who did non-IT branches in my college, everybody is working in the software in one way or another. And almost as you grow a bit senior, you will, specifically in these current times, you will be asked the data science work. Whether if you go to even a cement factory, there is a high chances that the work will involve a lot of data science. Okay. And therefore, whether you want to go for core branches or you want to go for software companies, right? In both the cases, learning data science would make you really, really valuable in the job. Now, when it comes to the job, if the companies in your campus which are opening for software are not opening for you, you should basically start applying off campus and start pitching. As of today, since almost everybody who graduates knows a bit of data science, expect questions on data science to you, even as a fresher. Okay, so it is a kind of very, very important time for everyone to upskill themselves in the data science, machine learning, and these domains. And that's why this course is designed for everyone. A question is, how do we build career in AI? What skills are needed? I'll talk about those. And All right, Vishwajit, I think I answered your question. A question from Alvin is the softwares for data science keeps changing day by day. How can I stay updated? Very good question. Question is that every day we hear this software, we hear that software, and it's changing every day, right? But what is not changing is the underlying philosophy, right? If you see linear regression, that has been there for more than probably 300 years or maybe more. Okay. So the underlying science in data science is not changing. It is going to be there. Okay. It's going to be there. Therefore, don't become the tool specialist. No. If you are a tool specialist, you will go obsolete in a single shot. Okay. Don't try to be tool specialist. Instead, try to understand why are we using this tool? What exactly this tool does? Can I do the same thing without this tool? Can I use some other tool instead of this tool? And the underlying philosophy should be very clear. Okay. So the tools will come and go, but the philosophy remains. For example, let's take a more contemporary example of Kafka. Kafka is a distributed queue whereby people write to it and other people read from it. Now, if you think that, okay, Kafka is new and it was not there before, then you're mistaken. The enterprise queues, enterprise buses, they have been there. And therefore, knowing why are we using Kafka and understanding that when you are building a large architecture of the system, where do you use this component? Therefore, that part is important. Today it's Kafka, tomorrow it could be something else. But you do not go obsolete because you understand when to use which software. And yes, and also keep in mind that whether you're going with Python, whether you're going with Go, whether you're going with Scala, all of that, right? The machine learning libraries are identical across the board. Okay. The philosophy, the science behind it is common across all the tools. Okay. So figure out whatever technology stream you are, figure out the common denominator amongst all the tools and try to understand it rather than learning very, very tool specific things. Tool specific things are important to learn, but if you just become very tool specific, that will be disastrous to your career, right? Every third day, new tool will come and go. So don't become tool specific. Understand the underlying science. Okay. Now, the question is, what's the scope of data science with respect to full stack development for freshers in near future, right? So wherever you go as a full stack engineer, trust me, your 90% of time will be spent in backend trying to fetch data and display it. And therefore, knowing the data engineering part or data science part will become your primary job. Okay, I can guarantee this. Okay, whether you are data engineer or you are anything. Okay, I'll talk about CloudxLab, don't worry. Which job roles are to be looked for after specialization in machine learning? Yeah, so there are lots of this course particularly, the one that we have recently started. This course particularly talks about machine learning, data engineering, data science in general. And it also have deep learning. So it has deep learning, machine learning, and data engineering. Now, if you go through this course, the kind of job roles you are open to is data scientist, ML, machine learning engineer, and ML ops, and data analyst, and so on. So it is up to you how you portray your career. Okay, I have seen wonderful, job progressions in past by combining this knowledge with your domain. Okay, so you will figure, you will yourself know where you fit in. Okay, a question is, does India has scope of machine learning work with robotics? So it's not only robotics where machine learning is applied, but there are lots and lots of use cases. Okay, the story had just begun. The OpenAI, the ChatGPT, and lots of things have validated and said that, okay, machine learning is real. Okay, it's real. And although it was real for many top companies for quite some time, but now it is real for everybody on the planet. So far, people were talking about machine learning only in the context of recommendations at Amazon. But now people are talking about machine learning in every context. Now, when it comes to robotics, there are lots and lots of companies that you may not know. Like, for example, Bosch. A lot of robotics is done here. And I've met quite a few people from different companies. They have these robotic arms whereby you need to train it in order to do various tasks. How do you automate those trainings, and so on? So yes, India has a great scope for machine learning with robotics as well. All right. A question from Pavan is, I have completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. How do I start learning data science? The course that I'm talking about is something that you should enroll for. I can honestly say that it's going to make a big difference in your career. Is my voice very low? Okay, let me see. I think this needs to be vertical. All right, so okay, looks like I've been mumbling all the way. Okay. Wow, there are so many questions. So many questions. Okay. Everyone, those questions, those people whose question is not answered, and you are in Zoom, can you move your questions from chat to Q&A? And yes, my team will pick the questions from YouTube and put it here. Okay, now let me start my talk. And yes, wonderful set of questions. Stay tuned. I would love to explain things in more details. Okay, now let me delete this. We are starting. Perfect, perfect. This is going to be one of the very important talks that you attend if you are coming to CloudxLab for the first time. Now, so I'm going to, this is what I'm going to talk about. I'll give you a brief introduction to data science, machine learning, and AI. And I'll also talk about the applications, and I'll also talk about a bit about ChatGPT and the recent development that have happened. And I'll also talk about a very important aspect, which is how does a typical workflow of a data engineer and data science looks like. And then I'll talk briefly about the executive program. Okay, about myself, right? I'm Sandeep Giri, and I graduated from IT Roorkee long back. I worked mostly on large-scale computing at Amazon, in Mobi, and DE Shop. And at heart, I am a software engineer. I love explaining technologies to people, and that's why I had started CloudxLab. As of today, I'm heading AI at DevRev, and I'm a subject matter expert at CloudxLab. So, all right. So that's about me. You can just, this is my LinkedIn profile's QR code. If you want, you can just, send me a request. All right. Now, great. So I started CloudxLab with a very simple vision. I wasn't finding great engineers and IT professionals, in industry. That's why the main idea was to build or train people into deep tech, machine learning, big data technologies, and make them future ready. So One of the things that we build very uniquely is a playground, whereby you have a problem statement on the left-hand side, and there's a playground on the right-hand side. So here is a problem statement. You can type your code here, and once you run it, you submit the answer, and it tells you whether you have done well or not. This is very unique to CloudxLab. So we build the software so that our learner can get immediate feedback. And this way, learning becomes like a game. It becomes fun. And that's why our completion rates are really, really good. Okay. The completion rates of our courses are like our self-paced courses are above 90%, while everybody else is in single digit. Okay. So the underlying lab that we have is accessible to you, and you can run a number of tools at your own way. So you are given this prompt whereby you can launch any tool and it's there for you. Okay. So this cloud-based lab is something unique to us. And we started with this philosophy that, installing softwares, launching a distributed system requires a lot of energy, a lot of time, and a lot of money. Therefore, we created an online lab on the cloud, which has multiple systems, multiple computers, and the distributed systems, which are like Hadoop and Spark and everything, is there in the lab. So you can just go and try it out. And you can learn the distributed computing, and you can learn machine learning, and you can combine the machine learning with the distributed computing. Other than that, we provide like data sets on the lab so that you can just access the data set. We have copied a lot of data sets onto the lab, and you can just start using those. And then there is a social profile, which you can keep on updating, and your points and activities reflect on your profile. There's a job portal. We keep on posting the jobs. We keep on having these exams whereby you basically, if you qualify the exam, we connect you to various employers. All right, let me start with what exactly is data science. Data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insights from many kinds of data, structured or unstructured. So this is something fundamental to data science. Now, this is a multidisciplinary field, okay? It requires your knowledge of the domain and so on. Now, this is basically an overlap of many things. Mathematics, computer science, domain knowledge, information science, and statistics. And there's a full gradient to it, right? If you are not great with computer science, you can just learn a bit of it and then start using the other parts in your favor. And you can take a look at our data science specialization course that will give you more idea about what exactly is data science. Now, a question is, what exactly is machine learning? Machine learning is specifically a part of data science whereby the computers learn using the data. Computers, without being coded, without being programmed explicitly, they learn using the historical data. So machine learning is kind of part of the data science. Now, instead of talking about this definition, let me give you a real world example. Have you ever played Mario? And when you play Mario, did you win the princess? And the more important part is the way you learned Mario. Can the computer also learn Mario the same way without somebody coding it up, right? So somebody essentially hooked, installed Mario on a computer using a simulation, and then Program was basically pressing the keys and observing the screen and was trying to maximize the score. And let's take a look at this wonderful example. So this is the day 0 of Mario. It's like the program is pressing the keys randomly and just going crazy. You can see that it's going nowhere. It dies of old age. Now, it's learning. Few more plays, and it is doing a little better, right? It's just facing backwards and just trying to do it. Now, it's just trying to learn from the past. Okay, it learned from the past. Now it's doing a little better. Now, after a few more weeks of learning and playing this game, it is doing really well. You can see this is my level of playing. You can see? Yes. Do you think he'll cross it? I think it'll cross it. See? So it's able to play. Nobody has coded it to play. It learned by playing over and over in order to maximize the score. All right. Now it's more than expert. Now you're going to see some magic. Okay. See that. What was that? The Goomba is falling on it and it starts moving slightly downwards. And it figured out the bug in Mario game. And that's the magic of data. That's the magic of generating the data by itself, by playing over and over and learning by experience. This is machine learning. I have no idea how did he do that. Now, when it is not able to win a game, it just pauses the game so that it retains the score. Just like my cousins, they used to spoil the game when they are losing. Okay, so all right, let me go full screen again. I hope this gives everybody a perspective on what exactly is machine learning. Machine learning from the data, not somebody coding it. It is learning using data. Instead of you writing the code that if you see this, jump here, jump there, move to the left, move to the right. Instead of you coding it, we are letting it play over and over, taking a look at the data and figure out what steps to take, where to go. And that's the magic of machine learning. It figured out the things that nobody imagined. It figured out those hacks into the game. And that's the beauty of machine learning. Now, you might hear this word AI, the artificial intelligence, and it is used very loosely, interchangeably with machine learning. When you say ML, it's machine learning, AI is artificial intelligence. The term was coined long back, and it was defined by sub-objectives that like anything that has all of these would be considered intelligent, represent knowledge, perception, reasoning, navigation, and natural language processing. But this definition has improved and it has been improvised over years. Here is the diagram, or you can say sets, that show the relationship between various kinds of software and hardware. Okay, various disciplines of human sciences, right? So AI is an objective. When what you want to do is you want to build intelligent machines. That's artificial intelligence. Now, to build AI, you need lots of things. You need hardware, which might be robots, sensors, IoT, and so on. And what you need is software, on the other hand, to build intelligence. Software could be either you're coding it up, you're writing the rule-based codes, like logic, like if else this, and do the for loop, and so on. The other is machine learning. The other kind of software that plays role in building the intelligence is machine learning. And machine learning basically has one subdomain called deep learning, whereby we're using a particular kind of algorithms, which are like deep neural networks in order to build this intelligence. Okay, so AI is an objective and software and hardware are means to achieving it. Software are two kinds, like either coded by people or inferred from the rules. Okay, inferred from the data, not rules, inferred from the data, rules inferred from the data. That's machine learning. And the kind of machine learning whereby we are using neural networks, that kind of machine learning is called deep learning. Now, there is a very, very, very important question that people ask, that why there are so many use cases of machine learning? Why there are almost every industry is getting disrupted with the use cases of machine learning? Why? Why is such a thing that is happening? The thing is, every industry, if you take a closer look, it is trying to predict something. And most of the models are designed to predict something. Now, that's a very, very important task, important point. Like manufacturing industry is trying to predict something such as which products to manufacture, which process optimizations to be done, and what should we keep the price of a product. So if you look closely at every company, they are trying to predict something, right? Like you might say at this point of time that no, machine learning also helps us build the patterns. But why do we build the patterns? Patterns as in understanding data and figuring out rules in it and so on. But why do we build those patterns? Those patterns are built so that we can predict something. Now, coming back to it, similarly, agriculture industry is trying to predict which crops to grow, what should be the price of produce, and which process to follow in order to grow the plants. Similarly, healthcare industry is trying to predict the disease based on syndromes or symptoms, not syndromes, trying to predict which drugs are effective, trying to predict how we can stop the pandemic, and which operating procedures are the most effective one. So in summary, if you look closely, every industry is trying to predict something, how to maximize revenue, how to cut down the losses, how to do this, how to do that. So, and one of the breakthroughs in the machine learning industry that has restored the faith of people in machine learning is ChatGPT and GPT-4. And this is not only done by OpenAI. It is the work of many, many, many years. Many years, right? People invented normal regression, how to draw the line between the points. Some people try to do the optimizations. Some people invented gradient descent or neutral option. Then some people invented linear regression. Some people invented the neural networks. Some people optimized the neural network and came up with transformers. Some people came up with the ideas like, how to train a model using unsupervised ways. And other people figured out how do we fine-tune such models. So it's a work of many people, right? From the research perspective. But as of today, the OpenAI it basically utilize a lot of hardware and those research in order to build one of the greatest things as of today. And probably if any software like if you compare any software to ChatGPT, you'll find that ChatGPT is more intelligent on every scale, right? So the good part is that there are many companies who will now come and provide similar functionalities like ChatGPT and GPT-4. So these models use deep learning techniques to generate human-like text based on the given prompts. In recent years, these models have made significant strides in natural language processing tasks. It is being used in mental health, and it is being used to solve competitive examination. This is not really a very big use case. This is more like validating whether it is intelligent or not. And it has cleared almost every exam on the planet. There are only few tests which it has not been able to clear, but almost every test on the planet, the GPT-4 has cleared. Okay. And this is waterside moment for the entire world as of today. So ChatGPT released with GPT-3. Now they released GPT-4, which is even more, sophisticated, and which even deals with multimodal models, as in it deals with images, it deals with videos, it deals with audios, and so on. Not only NLP. And so it's essentially, and the most closest attempt to mimic intelligence or to create intelligence. Now, it is being used in customer service provided by many companies and so on. So that's ChatGPT. In case you have not used it, you must use it, and you would know that it does understand what you're talking about. This is the closest to understanding of the language. It is way better than most people in various languages. And so GPT and ChatGPT proved that machine learning is going to stay. People were afraid that in 1951, the AI movement was started, but by 1980, the entire momentum was lost because we were not learning from data. We were hand coding those translators. Like if you have to translate from one language to another, we would write the rules to parse the grammar, and then we will parse it back and so on. So there are lots of writing the rules doesn't really work, because to understand the context and meaning, you need much more than just the rules. And the way GPT is trained is on lots of data from internet. It learned to understand the meaning of words by trying to predict the next word. And that's what is basically used in generating the responses. Now, I'm going to talk about the applied AI at scale. As of today, almost every service uses the AI in their workflow, whether it's Google Assistant and so on, and even as simple application as Uber Eats that it was using that. Similarly, video improvements, face generation, face creation, creating an image, visual Q&A, and so on. There are millions of use cases. Creating a music with machine learning. All right. Now, in 2020, the multitask unified model played one of the breakthroughs roles in our understanding of things. And that has been improved by many companies as of today. So they came up with something called T5 text-to-text framework. It is able to produce text and so on. And that was one of the key researches that led to the GPT as of today. And The AI is being used to early detection of eye disease, right? And this is a subsidiary called DeepMind, subsidiary of Google. They developed the AI system that can analyze the scans of the eye and detect if there is any disease in that scan. And the system uses a deep learning algorithm to identify patterns and figure out the disease. It is way more effective than human specialists. And right, there's a medical imaging called inner eye that is essentially revolutionizing the medical imaging with AI. And there are lots and lots of innovations that are happening in parallel using the AI. The AI and sensors for concussion detection in sports is just another use case, and you'll find so many such use cases, right? So using the sensor data that is coming from the variables, the AI can detect in real time when the concussions are about to happen. All right. I want to walk you through the typical workflow, and I would like to take a quick break in trying to answer your question. All right. Or let me just finish this one, and then I think your questions, lots of questions will be answered by that time. Okay. Yeah. So let me walk you through a typical workflow. Imagine that you're building a system. The system is going to get data from somewhere. The data could be coming from sensors. Data could be coming from the website logs. When you visit a website, it creates logs. Data could be coming from various machinery or many point of sale systems. So first step is gathering the data to a central location. For this, you might have to do the data architecture, you might have to do system design, and you might have to use the various kinds of data stores. Either it could be on the cloud, or you could have your own cloud or your own private cloud where you are running your NoSQL databases, HBase, that's a distributed database. An example of NoSQL, you could be running MongoDB, you could be running HDFS, you could be running Kafka. Kafka is a queue where you put the data in hand and you can, consume it on the other end. So this phase called gathering data is the hardest phase of every data science or machine learning project. And this is called data engineering side of the game. And then when you get this data somewhere, you might have to clean it. Clean means, let's say the data is coming in a log format and you would like to extract only certain fields from it. You might want to restructure it. So you may want to use Spark MapReduce or normal Hadoop MapReduce, or you might want to use, let's say, a older traditional Informatica kind of ETL tool or Microsoft ETL tool. It's up to you. And then you would be doing the basic analysis. Basic analysis could be find all those time windows where your server is relatively free and so on. So for the basic analysis, you will use the tools like Spark SQL, Hive, Druid, and so on. There are so many plethora of tools which are used for this basic analysis. Now, once you have this cleaner data, which is in some format and you've done the basic analysis, then what you'll like to do is you will build models. You will use ML algorithms. You will use libraries such as MLlib, GraphX, Scikit-learn, or R. And afterwards, you might want to go for a more involved machine learning. You might want to use pre-trained models. You might want to further fine-tune these models and so on. So you might be using TensorFlow, PyTorch. You might be using these various new kind of algorithm and fine-tuning those algorithms using hyperparameter tuning or like fine-tuning these ML models. And once you have done that, you have built that model, then you will take it to production. You would like to expose it like a service, or you would like to build an app in which you'll put this model and this app starts becoming intelligent. So on one hand, you gather data, then you build the model, and then you take it to production, right? Taking to production requires an understanding of full stack engineering, understanding of DevOps, understanding of MLOps. Okay, so this is software engineering for data, like you from the perspective of data science in a single flow. Okay, all right. Now this is right. So this is the course that have already started. There are a couple of seats. If you guys want to join, I mean, apply now so that there are a couple of seats left. Rest is full. So I'm not sure by the time you apply, the seats will be there, but we apply right away. Okay, there are only a couple of seats left. Okay, now let me take up the questions for everybody. All right. So this one I have answered already, so I'll just mark it closed. Data analytics is a part of data science. Data analytics deals with analyzing data and presenting the data, while data science involves everything, data engineering, as well as machine learning, as well as deep learning, as well as data analytics. All right. I already have 5 years of work experience in software development. Can I take a ML course with some project and apply for ML architect role? Yes, yes. If you have software development experience, then I think being an ML engineer, being an ML architect, ML, and so on, there are so many roles that it opens for. So you must go for ML architect role. A question is, I'm 2022 pass out, but I want to build a career in data science. How to start? This course is a place that you start. Okay. And yes, it'll take time, but I can guarantee that as soon as you finish a couple of chapters, you should start applying. You should not wait till the course finishes. Just after first couple of chapters, you will be confident enough to start applying for various kinds of jobs. Our question is, I am in second year in PhD in France. My thesis will finish hopefully in late 2024. My goal is to pursue in IoT and AI. Do you have some advices? Yes, I think you should pursue the AI and IoT. Right? AI and I would say machine learning. Machine learning is applicable in almost every fields, in every domain. A question from Thomas is, what is the special web contextual AI not more well-known? Seems as if KOSM OS is trying to keep it secret. Yeah, so there are lots of keywords keep on building, and yeah, I would just stay away from that. Looks like that question was to just throw in the keywords or brands. All right. And a question from Abhishek is, for a 17-year experienced professional, a career transition in data science or big data is possible with good and market approaching remuneration. Of course, if you are 17 into experienced professional, you must go for data science, data engineering, or machine learning kind of career, because anywhere you will go for interview, if you're not being asked the questions on data science, the chances are that you're doing it wrong. Okay, for any senior person, understanding of Data science is really, really important. And trust me on this. Okay. So has become a common sense to expect understanding of data science from 10 plus years of experience engineers. All right. I would like to change my career path from Java after work for a few years to data engineering side, fully into data and it's exploring. Could you please suggest such tools? What I would like to know. Just take a look at this particular course, okay? And the tools that we're using, even if you are not taking this course, right? Just take a look at the curriculum. And that curriculum is just very, very good, you know, whether you study by yourself or join such a course, but that is the kind of curriculum that you should follow. You should not fall into the trap of that I'm going to be AWS specialist. I'm going to be GCP specialist. No. What happens is company changes from one cloud to another and you are out of job. Similarly, go for a holistic or a general course which preps you up on the common denominator of technologies. A question from Nishit is that what would be the career path for a person who pursues a data science course? And is analyst the first step a person would start from? No, it's not always analyst. Whatever you get, you should start, whether you're data engineering, data scientist, or software engineer, machine learning, software engineer, data science, software engineer, let's say analytics. There are so many different kind of titles. So start somewhere and then keep rising. Okay. And basically, that's the only way to move. Okay. If you are not given a chance to move to data science in your current company, move to another company. There are so many jobs. So the key prerequisite is that make yourself super confident in the curriculum that we have mentioned here. You should take a look at this curriculum, no matter which where are you studying from. This is the curriculum that you should get comfortable. It's a proven curriculum, and right, this syllabus that you see here includes the fundamental tools. Okay, those who say that okay, you don't require Python foundations and things like that in analytics, they are just fooling you. That's a simple thing, and it's not really too much maths. Okay, these are just basic things, and make yourself comfortable with the general terminology, and that's it. Okay. Now, right, this is the understanding that we expect from anybody who is doing data science or machine learning. Then, like this is a core machine learning. There's a core machine learning. Then there is a deep learning. Deep learning is big in this one, but we are going to make it more efficient, this course. Okay. We're going to increase the content on the autoencoder and GAN and transformers. This is where it's going to go. And here you can see that we've also included the ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion into this course. And then there is a data engineering. It looks too much for 8 months, but if you stick with the course, maybe for first month, it'll take you some time, but afterward, your growth, your learning will become exponentially better and better. Okay, so this is the curriculum, no matter where you are studying, what book you're following, what blog you're following, this is the curriculum that you must follow. Okay. All right. Now, let me pick up more questions. And a question is, any advice on starting a career in computer vision as a fresher? So you will notice that computer vision has become all about machine learning and deep learning. The foundations that you learn as part of this course, whether those are for building data engineering pipeline or those are for machine learning or deep learning. All of those are going to be used in computer vision. Earlier, few years back, there used to be one separate team for signal processing, one separate team for natural language processing, other team for computer vision. Now, and audio processing used to be like part of signal processing or separate team. Now, all of these have merged together as one discipline called machine learning or AI. So, computer vision is a great career, but you got to learn machine learning and deep learning even in that. All right. And the course curriculum that we have here, that is going to be really valuable. And yeah, and in case you want me to give a suggestion, like after you finish this course, the one that the topics that we have mentioned, you must take a look at the what is going on. Yeah, you must take a look at ancient secrets of computer vision. Okay, so this course is by the author of YOLO, and you must attend that course. But after you finish the core of machine learning, because machine learning is a prerequisite for that course. Okay. A question is, if we do this course and we get 240 days of lab access, and post that, can we access the lab further? Yeah, you can just extend it. The lab is fairly cheap. We've kept it really low cost, the lab, so that everybody can learn. And the reason we keep it cost, because we have to pay to the cloud providers like Google and AWS. So the lab that we are offering is on our actual prices, the amount of money we pay to Google. As a beginner, what are the skills I need to acquire to become an AI engineer? I think this is a course that, is a holistic course, and you should follow this course. The curriculum is something. Our question is, which programming language is used in machine learning? Yeah, that's a very important question. The answer is, machine learning can be done in almost every language. Just that there are more libraries in Python. Like, for example, there is no, like when you are using Go, there are many unsupervised algorithms are not available in Go. Therefore, it becomes a bit difficult. But in today's world, the programming language doesn't matter, right? So I would strongly recommend that after thinking through, we realize that Python is the language that we focus on. So the answer is, you can use any language. Second is, the language doesn't matter much. In today's time, if you learn one language, you learn all languages. Second, in a company, multiple people use multiple languages. Some people are using Python, some people are using Go, some people are using Java, and they all are communicating through services. One person creates their service. Service is nothing but a small web server, and the other one accesses that and get it done. So the other one doesn't need to use the same programming language as the first one. So programming language doesn't matter. One programming language you become good at, you learn the other one very quickly. Third, in this particular course, we are focusing on Python because lots of libraries are available and it's easier to code. It's like easier to type, shorter to type. What's the best way to pursue open source AI development? Your methodology? I would say that have a good understanding of machine learning and deep learning, and then pick any open source project and start contributing to it. First, you do the documentation, then you do a couple of bug fixes, and then you start doing that. All right, start contributing to that particular project. Okay, so if you want to do open source, that would be the one. But most importantly, you must focus on learning the fundamentals, which are common to all. A question from Arun is, sorry, I missed the first few minutes of the session. What if I don't have much experience in coding, but have good understanding of development and scripting? I have multi-skills which have expertise in domain, partial hands-on experience in coding Java, and little more to beginner. Trust me, you will do pretty well. This is great. If you have just basic understanding of coding, whether scripting or other ways, you will do well. Okay, in most of these programs, in most of the codes, I mean, we don't require understanding of everything in the programming language. Okay, so you will do pretty well. And be ready if you see a syntax that is not comfortable to you, just go and just try it out, and you'll be comfortable with that particular syntax or things in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so don't worry, you are in safe hands. This course, after looking at the current batch and after receiving a feedback from multiple people, we are going to be little more patient in the beginning of the course so that everybody becomes more comfortable with coding and more comfortable with the console, and rest, you will do wonderful. Okay, so in the beginning, we're going to do more hand holding, more and more one-on-one sessions, and we will make sure that you become confident enough to handle rest of the things by yourself. Okay. A question is, any update on the fee structure? It's not given on the website. Just take a look at the website or just drop a message, and my team can better answer it. All right. Okay, so those are a wonderful set of questions. And yes. Okay, I hope I was able to answer the questions. A question is, how can one in the mid-40s transition from non-IT into data science industry, preferably starting out in analytics domain? Yeah. So I would say that make yourself comfortable with the data science. It will always come handy. Start with a slightly non-technology career. Maybe you go for a program management or something, and then you start moving to product management, and you can also move to software and so on. So, or what you can try is you can just be open to all kinds of internships, and I think that's another way to change the career. Okay, if you are from non-tech industry. A question is, I am a .NET developer. Is it good to change to data science? Yes. Yes. All the software engineers have to be upskilled and upgraded to data science, right? At Amazon, almost we started teaching the software, like machine learning, to all the senior engineers, and that has turned out to be great. So other companies basically expect senior engineers to know machine learning and data science. Okay, it's software engineering at the end of the day. A question from Rahul is, will ChatGPT replace our machine learning job? Good question. It won't. Okay, just be good at using ChatGPT, right? And that's it. Okay, so it's not going to replace it, because the company would need the great machine learning engineers to start using these tools and solving the problems. The programmers or data scientists are not typists. They are problem solvers. And the amount of context human has of a problem, the machine will not have ever. Therefore, I don't think if you are a good problem solver, if you are focused on solving large-scale problem using technology, then you won't be replaced by any chat GPT or anything, because the only role is probably the only thing that it reduces is typing work. And that's not the only thing the programmer does. That's not the only thing data scientist does, right? Okay. I hope I gave you, I was able to answer your question. Should I attend machine learning course in US by quitting the current job? You don't need to quit your current job. You can do this course on weekends. Continue your job, do this course on weekends, and as soon as you are into, let's say, a couple of months into the course, start applying for another job. Okay? Trust me, you will be able to clear within a couple of months of this course. Okay? A question is, I am from non-coding background. I have already joined the course. What's the placement opportunity? Okay. My suggestion is get yourself comfortable with coding. The Python programming language that we have, the course on Python we have, just finish that off. Okay. And trust me, you will have great opportunities. Okay. You will not have any worry about the career. Okay. I'm not saying they don't finish the entire course. I would want you to finish the entire course, but the only hurdle to the rest of course is just making yourself comfortable with the syntax of the programming language. Okay. A question is it required to be good software engineer to be good at ML engineer? I mean, depends on how do you define good. Okay, if you have a holistic understanding of a problem and you know how to use software tools, you can and how to code things up, or how do you use machine learning model, how to use the AI in your context, you are a good software engineer. All right, and you'll do pretty well. Okay, I hope I answered everybody's questions. I'm using the Q&A window. All right. Any other questions, everyone? Great, great. I hope I have answered everyone's question. I'm not able to look at the chat. There are just too many messages. I mean, I'm talking about the people who are in the Zoom meeting, those who have already enrolled in the course. So can you post it on in the Q&A, please, from the chat? There's a Q&A, separate Q&A than the chat. All right. Yes, Smriti, you have raised the hand. You can ask the question. Yes, Simali, you have a question. You can ask using Q&A window. A question from Adarsh is it necessary to know coding to become a data scientist? I would say that the coding is kind of necessity in every job today. I'll be very honest with you. If I tell you that there are no code platforms that are coming up, this, that, I will be lying to you. Okay. So make yourself comfortable with coding. Like there are no code platforms such as Excel, right? That's probably the most no-code platform, but that's not going to solve all kinds of problems. So make yourself comfortable with coding, right? Because all of this is, in a way, part of software. Okay. So my honest request is, as part of the beginning of the course, the course fundamentals, make yourself comfortable with Python. That's a easier to get started. You don't have to type too much, and almost every model is available. So just get yourself comfortable with the syntax. Okay. And trust me, you will do well. A question is, I'm completing fourth semester computer engineering. Can I join the course? Yeah, you can join the course. Okay. You are in fourth semester, right? BTech fourth semester. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. You can apply. Yeah. You can apply for the course. I'll have to just check with the team, you know, whether it's okay or not. But you can just apply. Okay. Then. All right. Please feel free to ask questions using Q&A window. A question from Smriti is, any suggestion for women beginning their career again after the break from IT background? Good question. So, see, whenever somebody has taken a break or beginning the career, right, it is usually hard if you go after established professions. Okay. If you go after something like Java developer today, there's so many Java developers today. Okay. But what you can do is you can go for a newer career, because machine learning, for example, those people who had been doing the software engineering for, let's say, 10 years, they did not get enough time from their job to upskill themselves with machine learning, right? So you have a very less competition in general. So whenever there's a new domain, like this course, for example, it talks about the prompt engineering, it talks about LangChain, it talks about GPT, it talks about the MLOps. So these kind of courses are really, really useful for people who are trying to get their first job, or they're trying to get back to the job. Okay. So yes. And yeah, you have taken the first step, and rest, just work with the course. Do not do not memorize anything. Just go with first principle and start experimenting in the lab. Do not hesitate. You cannot break anything in the lab. We have already settled everything. And so do not hesitate in tinkering around. That would be my honest request. Do not wait for permission. In case something breaks, you can ask for, like, you can just say that, okay, I'm sorry, I broke this. Don't worry. Okay. So don't ask for permission on tinkering around all these. Okay. And that's how you become an unstoppable learner, and therefore you become successful that way. Okay. So you'll do great. And a question from Hari is, how about people with 10 plus years of experience in ERP as techno-functional transitioning into data science? You'll do wonderful, because see, you have a good understanding of what's data. You have understanding of SQL. Now is the time that you get a feel of data engineering. You get a feel of machine learning. And that's a natural transition. People moving from ERPs, people moving from DBA, people moving from analytics, and so on. That's a natural transition. Okay. So yeah, you'll do great. All right. Wonderful set of questions. I really enjoy your questions. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the classes. Rest of the classes, not classes. Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. Any other question, please feel free to ask. Okay, reach out to my team and reach out to me on LinkedIn. And thank you, everyone. Have a good day. All right. Okay. Please fill the feedback form, the one that is posted by my team. So, all right. All right. Let me just, yeah, this is the form. Okay. Great. Not this one. Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect. All right. There are a couple of seats. There are only a couple of seats available in this course. So in case you don't get to get a seat in this one, probably you can get in another one which we are starting in about 6 months. All right. So yeah, this one is about to get closed, and I'm really happy to see great set of audience in this course, and I can guarantee that you'll do great. You've taken your first step, and it's up to you working with me closely to become successful. Okay, so work with me closely, work with my team, and make sure that you finish all kinds of assignments and so on. Like those who have not yet logged into the LMS, I'll just walk you through my our LMS. Right, you can just take a look at. You can see my screen, right? So here, yeah. Yeah. So you can see in this one, there are lots of things that are marked as optional. It is up to you whether you want to do them or not. So like, for example, this one walks through how to use every tool in the lab. Okay. So you're free to tinker around things. But if you are in hurry to finish the course, you can skip those optional parts. Okay. And there are many things that are provided as complimentary as part of this course. So it is up to you whether you want to use those or you can skip those. Those things are marked as optional. These are projects, you can see. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. There are close to 105 topics. Okay. So, okay. Great. Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate spending 1.5 hours of your time in this. Have a good day. Bye-bye.